Okay, here's all the stuff you'll need for your carnival game. A lot of this stuff is free, but I'll put the whole supply list in the description so you know what you need to buy. But you get a big piece of plywood about 5 feet inches tall, 2 feet wide, and draw 2 circles in the middle that are 6-inch circles that are about 5 inches apart. And I had a jigsaw and I just cut out the circles with the jigsaw through the plywood. It was pretty easy. Then you get a 2x4 and cut it 2 feet wide and screw it into the plywood about an inch above the circles. Then you need to get 2 more pieces of 2x4 that are about 3 feet 8 inches long. And those you're going to screw to the plywood board. So first, screw in your hinges onto that 2 feet piece of plywood, and then screw the other part of the hinges onto the longer pieces of 2x4. And this will make it so your big plywood can actually stand up. And so this is what it looks like when it's all put together, which was pretty easy to put together. So that's the first part. Next, you need to get some chicken wire and form what looks like kind of a nose that will go over the holes. This is where the nose is going to be, where you can put your hand under and grab the candy. So once you have it formed to what you want it to look like, you're going to screw the wire nose into the plywood so that it's not going to go anywhere. So I screwed it 4 spots, 2 on the top and 1 on each side. That way it's not going to budge, it's not going to fall, because you're going to be putting paper mache over the top of that. To make your paper mache, mix in water and flour. Now you can decide how thick you want it to be, but it's about the thickness of like pancake batter. And once you have that made, you just get paper, newspaper or paper or whatever, and you tear it into pieces and you wet it down into the paper mache mixture and scrape off the excess, and then just start putting it onto your wire nose that you have formed. Here's what it looks like about halfway through, and you just keep doing that. I had to keep making more paper mache mixture because it took a while. And here I am just scraping it off so you can kind of see how it works. And it's kind of a messy job, but it really didn't take that long. It was just kind of messy. And you have to do that until the entire wire nose is covered. And you could do extra layers if you want, but whatever you want. And this is what it looks like all done. I gave it a couple days to dry completely, so it was like completely dry to the touch. And it's just water and flour. It's crazy. Then I painted it brown and decided I didn't like the brown, and so I covered it with green. And then I cut out 2 big circles for the eyeballs with a jigsaw. And then I cut out a big shape for the mouth and some eyebrows with some extra plywood that I had. So here's the pieces that I had. You can kind of just eyeball it and measure however you want to do it. And then you got to paint the eyeballs and paint everything. I did purple eyeballs because it's going to be a witch. And then you paint the eyebrows brown or whatever color you want. And then finally, I painted the mouth. I did white teeth with a black mouth. And then around the edges was red lips. So it didn't take too long, and I just did it with acrylic paints. And here's what everything looks like when it was all done. Pretty cute, I thought. And the last and final step is to just screw on all of the pieces. So I screwed on the mouth, and then I screwed on the eyeballs. I made them angry eyeballs with the eyebrows pointing down. And here it is. This is what the final product looked like. And I got some bowls filled with candy and attached some hooks above the holes. And then you can just put the baskets of candy on the hooks. And then you can let the kids go to town. This is my daughter. She was reaching in there looking for some candy. And she loved it. She thought it was super fun. So this is a really fun carnival game you can play with kids at school, family parties, reunions, whatever you want. And it's something you can use year after year. Super fun.